Hi everybody, welcome to the second game in the series on my new channel, Ezza Chocolate Chess, and I'm playing my second opponent on sparkchess.com, so let's go straight to the game. He advances his pawn, I bring my knight out and then get my bishop into play centrally in an early attacking position as early as possible, trying to take control of the board at the earliest opportunity. So he then he advances his pawn and double backs it up. Let's get my pawn out. He then moves, attacks my bishop. So my bishop now uses options, pulls back, goes back safe. He then moves in, attacks my knight. Less castling, get my king safe. He takes my pawn, hoping that I'll lose concentration and go for it with my knight, then leaving my queen vulnerable, but no, I go for it with the queen, take that. He could have opened up my king's defense by taking my knight, but he didn't choose that option. So instead he's attacked my queen, so I'll just move back into position happily and back up my knight, which is what I do. So now if he takes the knight, my king's defense can remain solid. Sometimes while I'm playing, I always think of funny things sometimes because it helps me relax. And I remember my brother saying that him and his mates a while ago they got into a lift, and they approached the lift, and as the lift door opened, they saw this human log on the floor. And his mate turned around and says, "How did he even have time?" Just mad. I know. Well, it helps me relax. He then attacks my queen again with his knight, which again is absolutely fine. So I'm now in a position where I always like leave my opponents with a decision to make. And that's exactly what I've done. So he thinks I'm going to attack his knight, so he backs up the knight, supports it, while I can then move in and attack the king. So now I'm in a really, really strong position with his king having to find a defense. Now the king finds the defense with the bishop, but because of the position of my queen, I can then take the pawn with the bishop unable to respond, because that would leave the king in check. But at the same time, I also put the king in check, so it's almost like a double whammy. King now has to move, and I shall get my knight back into a settled position, still very attacking. He then advances his knight. So I shall then put his king under pressure again, put him in check, and again put him in check. So for a little while, I just want to chase the king around while I open things up. Let's move that bishop out. And that's good enough for me. So let's get my king further advanced. He then moves his bishop out and looks to attack my knight. At this point I can move the queen in, which is fantastic because my knight's been backed up by my pawn, so he can take that. But he doesn't. So my knight takes his bishop. The rook moves up to try and pressure my queen, but that's fine because then I can now really put the king under a lot of pressure, put him in check. He backs up, and I can now attack that rook with my bishop. He moves his knight, and I can see what his plan is. He's now going to want to pressure, or yeah, put a lot of pressure on my queen with the rook, which he does, and then it opens it up now for me to put the king in check once again. He moves the queen up, which is fantastic for me. So what I'll do, I think I'll get rid of that rook, put the king in check, opens it up, and I can now get rid of that knight, which is what I do. So I'll get rid of the knight, exchange with the bishop. He'll take my bishop, which I'm more than happy with, because now he's got 2 pawns on the same line. I just need another mad moment while we while we get to the end of this game. Now there were 3 fishes in a tank, and two fishes were on one side, one was on its own on the other side, and these 2 fishes, one said to the other one, "That fish over there is absolutely rock solid," and the other fish says, "Rock solid?" He says, "Yeah, can't mess with him. He's rock solid." And the other fish says, "How do you know he's rock solid?" And then he said, "I've just seen him take him out of the freezer." Sorry, it's crap, I know. I'm now advancing my king. This is where the king can come into his own now. Let's move that pawn on, because he's backed up by my rook, and I'll double back him up with another pawn, with a pawn. He now moves his rook across to try and attack the back line. So I'll back that up with my other rook, which I'm more than happy to do. Now it's just closing down all his options. So let's advance that. He'll obviously now look to put a lot of pressure down that side by advancing the pawns that he's got there. Let's move that bishop in. That just reinforces things. Little bit of a slight mistake there by moving my bishop out, but I'm still happy. It allowed him to come in and attack my king, which he did do. So I've lost that pawn because of it, but I'm still fine. I'll move the king in centrally, because I'm protected by the rook on the back line. And I can now make an absolute assault on his king. He backs up. So let's get this bishop out of the way, so that once I advance the pawn, I won't lose that piece. So I'll back the bishop up. He takes my other pawn, which I'm happy with, because I'll now put him in check. So he's got no option now but to retreat with his king. I'll push the other pawn on, and now I'm in a really, really strong position. It's going to take quite a lot to stop this advance, because now I've got 2 pawns pushing on, looking to get crown. Okay, he moves his pawn and attacks my rook, but that's fine because I'm now putting his king in check again. So once again, king has to retreat. I'll move this rook and stop this pawn coming through. And as soon as is possible, I will move my other rook across to back up the most advanced pawn. Now I can go to town and attack the king, which is what I do. So he's now in check. He's going to have to move. He moves out, leaves the line open for me. Obviously I'm going to have a queen in there. He's in check. Okay, Now the king's on the run. That's exactly how I like it. King's on the run. Really, to be honest, I should have coined the other pawn straight away, because it more or less would have been immediate checkmate. But I didn't. King's still on the run. Let's move the rook across, put him in check. One more move, and this is checkmate. I win the game. If you want to see more of my games with a few crap jokes and a little bit of banter, then just click and subscribe. As a chocolate chess. See you soon.